Hi, my name is Jerry. Welcome to my private pilot ground school. So before we begin, a quick introduction. So we're launching this ground school that is created for student pilots, private pilots, and anyone who wants to strengthen their aviation knowledge with a clear practical explanation. So our ground school is designed to make aviation learning simple, clear, and effective. So each session focuses on one topic only and breaking down the complex subject into the concise, practical explanation so you can apply directly in your training or the real world flying. So, no distractions, no unnecessary fillers, just a focused, on point instruction to help you build a strong foundation as a pilot. So, our goal is simply to help your learning process and training progression no matter where you are in your training. Now, let's get started. So the first lesson here we're going to talking about what does it take to become a pilot. Becoming a pilot is it takes more than just a love for flying. Often people asking what does it take to become a pilot or how should I get started. So there are so many factors involved in order for you to become a pilot. Let's breaking down and we'll talk about each of them. So the purpose of we're talking about this topic here because I found that there are rarely any videos online that is breaking down those factors and give a full disclosure for it. So pretty much everything we're on this picture are what it takes for you to become a pilot. Such as number one, a clear goal, knowing why you want to become a pilot. And number two, finance. Do you have enough money to carry through the training? Not just enough money get started, but carry through to finish. Number three, are you physically fit for flying an airplane? And are you able to to obtain the medical certificate? Some health conditions related to the visions, auditory system, the neural system, and cardiovascular system, and psychological matters may be red flag. So you should definitely consult with your doctors or aviation medical examiner before you start any flight training. And number four, education, such as your education background, the flight training, and the experience gained throughout the training, also play a very crucial role in your success. So last but not least, number five, the check ride, which is the flight test that you must pass before you earning your wings. So let's look at the first one, the goal. Know your goal before you begin. So we need goals for learning because goals give our training directions and a purpose. Right? For you to get started, you must ask yourself this question: why do I want to become a pilot? That may sometimes sounds like a very dummy questions because there's obvious reasons, right? And in our society, people think, okay, pilots is making lots of money. Well, good luck with that. Not everybody does, but that could be a very valid reason. So, such as it could be a passion for flying. The attracted to the prestige nature of the profession, and or you probably have heard pilot making lots of money. Well, hopefully that's true in these days. And some people just simply looking for more challenging things to accomplish. And some people wants to become an airplane owner and travel around the world after become a pilot. So I don't know, maybe one of those apply to you, maybe none of those apply for you. So you gotta know why, the reason behind it for you doing it. So when we know what we're doing and why we want to do it, and we're working towards, and we stay motivated and focused and organized. So, and believe me, you would be thanking me for it if you figure out this before you spend any money in your training. Aim for your goal. Without commitment, you will never start. Second, oh, that's got to be the most important besides all of those, the money. The next important factor is financial status. Do you have enough money to carry through the training? As I have mentioned before, not enough to get started, but enough money to finish. Every flight school you go to and asking for tuition information, they probably will tell you, give you a code. Well, you got to keep in mind, like that code is probably in most cases are the good estimation based on the average of the students spending in their flight school. Okay, so a good rule of thumb is for whatever the training courses you're signed up for, and you always add about 20% on the top of it to finish, to be on your budget. Okay, and there are lots of ways to get your tuition from. Well, not really every way is a good way, but you can get money from and do whatever you can, such as student loan, right? And join the airline cadet program, and that has become increasingly popular this year, right? So I know United Airline has their program, and American Airline has their airline cadet program as well. So go search online, and they might can get a student loan under your name, and well, you have a probably good guaranteed quality of training throughout their program. It's not really a bad way to look at it. Okay, maybe you have a lot of savings, and good you have a family support, and that's definitely lower lots of the burden off your shoulder. And I do see lots of students having a part-time job while they're doing your training. And scholarship, I put on there because I do see a one or two, time to time, but it is really, be frankly about it, not many scholarship related to your flight training. Okay, but there is some out there. You got to looking for it, and pretty much is not, it's not that a lot. Okay, and but any money helps. So figure out your financials and figure out this budgeting plan, and that's guarantee you can finish your training, not just get started. Because if you cannot finish, all the money you put in there is going to be wasted. Okay, aviation is not cheap. Okay, sooner or later you're going to realize that, and it has always been a factor since the day one. All right, and the third factor is your health conditions. All right, the health conditions is evaluated by the aviation medical examiner, and that is all the purpose for the one thing is you are fit for duty. Okay, so probably this is the very next thing you got to figure out after you work through your way of the why becoming pilot. Okay, because don't get me wrong, you can start your flight training without a valid medical certificate and pretty much complete almost a quarter of it of your private training course, and until you're doing your first solo lesson. Okay, so you do not really need your medical certificate before you do your the solo training. Okay, so but however, I have seen the students in my flight instructor career, and up until the time we're going to send them for the first solo lesson, and we figure out, oh, you gotta go get your medical. For most people, that's just as simple as a grab a milk from the corner store and come back to flight school to your solo lesson. But surprise sometimes comes without warning, and some students does realize they cannot get your medical the medical certificate, and for some, the issue they never realized or never thought to be a problem. And sadly, all the money has been spent in the training prepare you to the point of solo has all become wasted because you cannot fly no more. So this is, I would say, is a number one thing. Okay, are you fit for duty? Okay, so after you figure out all of these factors, find a good flight school. Okay, a flight school with a good name, that is definitely something you should look into. A professional flying instructor that is willing to teach. Oh, don't get me wrong, there's lots of flying instructors out there. I would say there's quite some bad apples, right? And who just wants to get hours. This is a fact. Everybody knows it. And try to avoid it. And a good flying instructor, a professional flying instructor, would willing to teach you and can definitely save you lots of money and time. Okay, so you got to be careful and be aware of those you know um, not pleasant things in this training world. All right, so I know you have your dreams, you have a carried all the money and wants to start your flight training, become pilot, but when you meet someone like this, probably gonna ruin the party. Okay, so be careful out there. So for those out there who is planning to take on the airline career, airline pilot career, a high school diploma and it's almost guaranteed is requirement on their job posting page. Okay, so and more competitively, and most companies prefer the candidates from their own cadet program or applicant with the education background from any aeronautical university or university the university with aeronautical programs. So nowadays the job marketing becomes increasingly competitive. So yeah, to take on the commercial world, high school diploma is almost guaranteed. Okay, so last but not least, after all the sweat and hard work, and you finally make it to the point, you're gonna do the check ride. So you still need to prove yourself by passing the check ride or the flight test, and to finally become a pilot. So remember, passing the check ride and get your license is only the beginning. They often say that is your ticket to learn. A good pilot is a safe pilot who is always learning. In another way to say, become a pilot means you are committed for the lifelong journey of learning. And there is old saying said that there's old pilot, there is a bold pilot, but there is no bold and old pilot. Enough have been said. Stay safe out there. Stay tuned for the next episode. And don't forget to subscribe our channel, Engine Failure 7700. And we'll tell you our story about that engine failure, why we name our channel this name in the later. All right. Have a good day. Stay safe out there. Happy flying. Bye.